Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I would like to take a moment of your time to go through how to export a JPEG from your Illustrator file, save your file as a PDF, and then also show you how to export a PNG. So here I have a icon I have created from a series of icons I'm doing for all 50 states that I need to export as a JPEG to upload to my website. And then also I'm going to export or save it as a PDF. And then I also, with the popularity or the feedback I've received from this mark, people like this icon, so I want to put it on a t-shirt. And part of that process is sizing it up and putting it on a template I have, and then saving it as a PNG. So that's the process that we're going to go through. So what I want to do with this mark is make sure that it's sized appropriately on my artboard. So I don't want to have, if I span this out, I don't want to take my mark, whatever it is, or in this case this icon, and have it massive on my artboard. That's not a good placement on the if we think of it as a canvas, on the canvas, right? So having it a little bit smaller with this white space allows for there to be focus on, in this case, the icon or the logo that you're creating. We want to have it at a good scale that works. Now, if I actually have a separate Illustrator file that I do bring my icons into when I'm ready to save it to the web, that allows me to scale it to the same proportion of all the other icons I've created at various dates dating back almost 4 years, so that there is a consistency on my website based on the icons that were all designed from the same stroke and the same angle and things of that nature. So I do have a template set up, and I encourage you, if you're going to be doing like a icon a day project or a logo a day project or something like that, where you're going to have multiples, or you're doing an icon set for something, or you're presenting multiple concepts to a client or for a class, that you set up some template so you can have some sort of consistency. Even if, and I'll tell you, the template that I have is just, at this point, 26 different artboards where I can size all my icons down to the same size or a similar size. So we have the icon in position where I want it. So our next step is to go up to File, and we're going to export it first. So we're going to come down and do Export As. And I haven't saved this yet, so we'll do the name, the file name, and everything. So we're going to come up into the export, and I have a separate demo files folder that I put all the demos in. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to name this Alaska Icon Web. And I use JPEGs for my website. So I want to change the format here to JPEG. And then I want to use artboards. And in this instance, since I only have one artboard, I want to do all artboards. If you had more than one artboard and you only want it to export one of them, you click range and put in the number of the artboard. So I'm going to leave it on all. I'll put it here, and then all I do is hit export, and then this JPEG options window will pop up, and the default, I believe, is this setting right here. So what you want to do is, the reason that the color mode is CMYK is because my working space color mode in Illustrator is set to CMYK. So I want to actually take this and change it to RGB, because since this is being viewed on the web does not display CMYK very accurately at all. Sometimes if you look at CMYK files within a internet browser, for instance, you'll get these really extreme shifts in color, and that's because it just can't render it correctly. So I want to make sure my color model is on RGB. I want to make sure my quality is pushed all the way up to 10. And then even though it's going on the web, which, you know, the PPI of 72 is fine, I usually go ahead and do it at high at 300 in case I need to use this JPEG for anything else. I only have to export one file. So when all that's set like that, I'm just going to hit OK. And then Illustrator has exported that out to my destination. So now I want to take this same file, this same setup on the same format, and save it as a PDF. So I'm going to come up here, and usually what I do when I say come up here, I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to do Save a Copy. So generally I already have it saved, and doing a Save As will just replace my Illustrator file that I have open with a PDF file. So in this way, when saving a copy, it actually puts the copy in a location and does not close my Illustrator file. So I'm going to do Save a Copy. And again, in this demo files folder that I have, if you need to navigate, I think the default on a Mac looks like this. And you can come up to where it says Where, and you can just click this little arrow off to the right, and it will give you your entire Finder kind of window where you can navigate down to where this is. So if we look here, this is actually on my Google Drive underneath my Graphic Design 1 course is where my demo files is located. So what I'm going to come in, what I want to do is I want to change my format now from Adobe Illustrator to Adobe PDF. I don't need to worry about doing artboards or anything, but I do want to take copy out because it's going to be the only PDF in this folder. And I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And that's going to bring up this window right here. And what I want my the default is going to be this, is going to be Illustrator default. And what I normally save my PDFs out as is high quality print, unless I know that I'm sending whatever file to the press, and then I will do the higher press quality. But generally, sending it to a client or just sending it over email to somebody who just to proof something, high quality print is perfectly fine. So we're going to select that, and you don't have to worry about anything else. At least in this demo, and in some instances we would go through and we would change the marks and bleeds, but like I said, for this demo we're not going to worry about that. So then all we have to do is hit Save PDF, and the PDF has been saved. All right, so now we're ready to put this on my t-shirt template. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my icon here. I'm going to copy it, which is Command C or Control C on a PC. And I'm going to come over to my T template that I already have open. I have some guides on it. And I have another state icon on here already. I actually have Arkansas and Georgia. Georgia is where I'm located. So let's use the Georgia icon, and you can see the different layers I have here. I do want to create a new layer, and I want to come up and I want to call it Alaska. Make sure I spelled that right. And I want to make sure it's called the icon because I'm doing other things as well as type and stuff like that. So I want to make sure I'm on that. And I'm going to go ahead and paste the icon, which you can see is relatively small. So I have two layers turned on, but you can't see the Georgia icon. That's because I put these icons on the t-shirts in white. So they usually go on a colored t-shirt, so forth and so on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to my view. So go up to my what I call the Apple menu on Macs, but it's your Illustrator menu up here. And I want to go into outline mode or outline view, which is Command Y or Control Y on a PC. So I'm going to hit Command, and this is going to show me that other icon and how I have that icon set up so that I can get this icon to a similar scale, hopefully, that icon is. Now this icon is a little bit wider than my Georgia icon, so we're probably not going to get the same stroke that I have. And these are just, these black rules right here are kind of where, as wide as I want to get it on the t-shirt, I can go upwards to 12 inches. So that is a 10-inch wide icon right at the moment. So I think with the Alaska icon, I can go a little bit further out. And this top rule is how far up on the t-shirt I want to go, just to get enough of, to see if I can't get some more width on the stroke. And I should note that I'm holding down Shift to scale proportionately. And this is really important because you don't want your work to be disproportionate. Like, I don't want to do that to my icon, right? That's not the icon. That's not the design. I'm going to scale this up a little bit more. I think I'm going to go to 11.5 on the right and then a 1/2 inch on the left. Because really these are just the point. It's an important part of the design, but as far as where it goes on the t-shirt around your body, I think that's going to be okay. It's going to come down around your ribs a little bit. So once I'm done here, I can turn off the Georgia icon, and then I'm going to hit, which had extra rules on it, that's why those disappeared. And then I'm going to hit Command Y or Control Y on a PC to go back to my regular view. And so now I have this icon. I can turn off guides by hitting Command semicolon or Control semicolon on a PC. So I get a good view of this. And I can decide, like, okay, maybe a little bit smaller wouldn't be too bad, because I really feel like it's getting close to this edge. And another thing I have to consider is, with kind of the leg of Alaska kind of sticking out here, and then this, which represents the island chain of Alaska, what is it doing with how it's going to appear on the t-shirt? Is it going to appear visually center? So ideally, I would kind of want it somewhere. I'd like the main part of the icon kind of right there, because that's where the mass of the icon is. But you can see that that takes it off. So let's see if we can't get it a little bit smaller. And of course, I'll view this, not in this video, but I will view this on a t-shirt template before I get going with the before I produce it. So I'm looking at those guides from Georgia again, just to see where we're at. I do realize that it is off center, but again, I'm looking visually center and thinking that way. You know, we could center it, like eyeball center it, and see what it looks like on the t-shirt. So one of the ways I can make sure that it's definitely centered right in the middle of the artboard is if I go over to my align panel, click align, and then come down to the lower right hand corner of that panel and do align to artboard. And then make sure the icon is selected. And then I'm going to click this horizontal align center. It's the second one from the left under align objects. And that's going to shift that to the center of the artboard. I still feel like it needs to pull over to the right just ever so slightly to be visually centered on the artboard. And I know that you guys are probably thinking, well, this space right here isn't equal to this space. What is he doing? Well, again, it's all about how the weight of the object or the icon or the logo, how it's being pulled, how it's balanced a little bit on that page. So with that, I'm happy with this. This is a challenging design to work with to put on a t-shirt. I'm gonna grab it and see. I'm just not sure. I'll probably come back to this after this demo to really get it correctly. So I'm gonna grab it and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put it in white, because that's the color I want to print the t-shirt in. Do white. Obviously that disappears. I want to make sure all my other layers are turned off, and they are. The layer 3, I don't know what layer 3 is, to be honest. I mean, there's nothing on there. But anyway, so I want to make sure there's nothing else on my canvas. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to File and Export As, just like we were doing with the JPEG. and click on that. But this time when we get into this window, now in this file, I have saved PNGs before, so it already knows the location. So it has adjusted my location based off of where I've saved stuff in the past. So what I want to do is I'm just going to find a old icon. I'm going to click on the name and I'm going to change this, and I believe Alaska is AK, and I'm going to take off the 01 because it's going to put that on there later. And I do want to save it as the format PNG, so that's fine. We don't have to change that, but we definitely want to do use artboard. So we're going to click on that. Again, all, not arrange, because there's only one. And I'm going to click export. Now this brings up this other window right here. And what I want is I want to make sure that my resolution is high because it's a printed piece. It's just being printed on a different material. It's being printed on a t-shirt. And then I want to make sure the background is transparent. So you can kind of see, if we zoom in all the way in, you can see the icon sitting on the transparent background. And this is because I'm going to probably put it on a royal blue shirt or a red shirt. And so they need to be able to only print the white and be able to see the color of the t-shirt through it. So even if I was doing if I put this in kind of an ice blue, or I decided to colorize the logo, which I might do with some, or colorize the icon, which I might do with some, and I was going to print it on a white shirt, I'd still want the background to be transparent. So with that, all I have to do is click OK, and it has exported those files. So that's how you export a JPEG. That's how you export a PNG file, and that's also how you save a PDF from Illustrator. So I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you like content like this, please subscribe and click the little notification bell. Thank you so much, and have a great day.